money. Especially like, you know, getting the experience to work for your own money. I think you kind of learn how to appreciate and respect money a bit more.
So much debt. Like I had loans here, I had a low credit card, I had overdraft. I didn't have that discipline.
But it might have not been the best financial decision, but shout out to like this sister.
Really wanted to be it. It's not good if you're behind or you need to keep up. That's when people start making these financial mistakes. Welcome back, guys. We come back.
Hi everyone. Welcome to another episode of Just Chats with Tshegofatso and
Masego. And yeah, we're excited that you guys are back again, hopefully.
Another one. And we're back again. Shout out to us.
Doing this. And to those who are listening to this episode as the first episode, we've got other episodes before this one. Please do check them out. But thank you so much for taking the time to just listen to what we're chatting about today.
Listening to our chat.
Yeah. And today we are talking about
personal finance, money.
We're not chopping it. Well, some parts we're chopping it.
And it's not financial advice.
Yeah.
We are just chatting
about our
finances. We're hanging out, having a conversation, and we just happen to be filming the whole thing.
Exactly. And then you guys are just happen to be watching it. But thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, so today we're talking about money and our experience about money, experiences with money. And yeah, it's not personal advice, as Toto said. Please, guys, don't try this at home. So, what's
your relationship with money?
Wow, that's so formal.
Like right now,
I love money. I love money. And I respect money. And it loves me too. And I respect money. And yeah, it's all about money, man.
So if you had to say like a relationship status, what would it be? Like in a happy relationship, it's complicated, still looking like
happily married, in the cupcake stage.
Love that.
No, and you?
What? Actually, I thought about that.
You're asking me all these questions.
I would say maybe not married yet, but also cupcake stage.
Okay. But hey, we've been through like
the rough patches,
what are
ups and downs.
What are we with money? With my journey with money, I started working when I was in high school. I had a
girl boss.
I like things, and it wasn't that I don't think that we all need money, but it wasn't specifically motivated by needing the money. I just saw some of my classmates working at a restaurant, and I'm like, I want to do that.
Why can't your network is your net worth per
that one? So I started working at a restaurant as a waitress.
And how was that experience?
Sure, it was tough. But I think I still feel that because I wasn't doing it because I needed the money for like survival. It was like, you understand, it wasn't as serious as the people that were there for work. And I was very grateful, like the people that taught me all about being a waitress. They were really nice, they were kind to me.
Shout out.
Even though I know sometimes they took the tables with the bigger tips. But it's fine, what I mean?
You need to let.
Exactly. And I remember when I'd come home with the tips, and we would count them.
Pizza, she used to bring us homemade pizza after work.
So we'd get like a discount as staff to buy pizza. And I remember, I really enjoyed the fact that I was making my own money at that age. And it already created a sense of freedom because then I wouldn't have to rely on my parents much for airtime, which back then was a 60 rands for BIS.
Simpler time.
So that was something. But the biggest thing that I'll never forget, I think, was my first month's tips. I walked from home to Woodlands Mall.
I was probably there.
I was inspired. You're probably there. And I was like, I was working towards a specific dress.
I remember. I was there.
A dress from Mango. And I just rocked up there and I arrived with my coins.
And you're like,
and this lady's like, you! Ching!
Yeah, like you were like, I did that.
I did that, and that's one of my favorite purchases ever. So.
I also remember what I did with my first pay.
Yeah.
So guys, we are hustlers here because I got. This wasn't even my first job. My first job was straight after matric, but like my first like retail job was in 2018. When was that? End of first year.
Okay.
And I worked at a clothing store at the Grove. And I remember I would work for, I think it was like 25 rands an hour. And it was Black Friday. I worked like 10 hours, 250 rands. And I got a smiley piercing. And I was and it was like in 5 minutes. Like the piercing took like 5 minutes. I'm like, yo, I worked 10 hours for this.
Sure.
But it lasted for like 2 whole years. I loved it. Like, you know what? Every time I smiled, like I worked for it.
For that smile.
Yeah. So I think that's like a good thing about money. Like, especially like, you know, getting the experience to work for your own money. I think you kind of learn how to appreciate and respect money a bit more. Like working 10 hours, my feet were shaking. Like there's no sitting.
Come home.
You know, one of the rules says you can't even lean. You can't lean on the shelves.
Ways.
It's the rules. Yeah. I was shaking.
I always get like. Sorry to interrupt. I always get like shocked. I'm like, these people in retail, chill, sit down, don't come to me, I'll come to you. That is the rules.
That's the rules. Yeah, so I worked there, and that was like my third job. Maybe not. I worked a lot. Yeah, but I remember that one time when
20 years work experience.
Yeah, I was like, I've been there.
But I think our first job was when we were watering flowers for one of our dad's colleagues. So she was away on holiday, and she said, "Oh no, you can bring your kids. They can water the plants every like third day."
Yeah.
And she paid us. I don't know what we did with that money.
We just enjoyed it.
But yeah.
And she had a pool. So we got to use the pool also. Fun times.
I remember. Yeah. But then, like, my relationship with money, I feel has always been good. Yeah, it's the thing. You have to respect money, and when you work for money, you value it more. That's our opinion. Yeah. I remember when I started working, so I got a learnership. Yeah. So and then we were doing our practicals, and we would get paid, and I was like, what?
Money.
Just after high school, I'm like, I'm leaving waitering. I am not gonna be a waitress. No.
You're being promoted. You're not one of the elites.
Exactly. Yeah. But then it was just a shock, and it was a lot of money. It was a lot of money at the time for me. I was like, this is quite a lot of money. And I feel that it made a difference in my life and
our lives.
At all, you know, because it's just like you never expected it. Because a lot of people, like when they go into varsity, it's more of the money coming out of the pocket from home, whereas I was like, listen here, I'm bringing money, I'm a breadwinner now. And then we had induction on the first we had induction, and one of the financial institutions brought someone just to have a chat with us, and I remember her saying, whatever you do with your salary, budget for it. And I was like, yeah, Vele, we know this. Like, what do you mean? And then she's like, no, guys. And then she went into depth. She's like, even like that slab of chocolate that you usually buy just to say, I worked hard for this. And we've heard that. Like, I worked hard for my money. I'm going to spoil. She's like, budget for it. And I was like, okay. So she's like, budget for the fun times. Budget for
I think that's really important, because I think sometimes you just get thrown into the deep end, and it's like now you're making money. Like yesterday you went from 0 to like 100 today, and it's like, especially like when you start that first like pay, it goes from like literally nothing to so high. Now you feel like,
but you don't even know
now. What am I budgeting for? What am I supposed to, like, you know, like, I got this. So I think it's so important for, I think more spaces or places should actually have these sessions where they bring in someone to make you think about these things. Because with me, I was just lucky, because when I started working, you read the book, I think it was you, I'm Not Broke, I'm Pretty Rich.
I love that book.
I just happened to read it right when I started working. For me, like, no one came to me to give me this advice. I just read that book. I remember even the chapter on retirement planning, whatever. I was like, must I read this chapter or not? And I read it, and I was like, what am I gonna do when I retire? I have nothing. I have to retire. Oh my gosh! So like that book,
just started working.
Yeah, and I was like, I love that book. I even gave it away once on my YouTube channel because it really, like, I think that really switched on the lights in my head, like, whoa, all these things. And I like how it's written, guys. I'll leave a link in the description everywhere, just check it out. But that's how that's what helped me when I started working. And I was just so lucky that you read that book at that time, and then I read it. And
no, it's a great book by Mapalo Marco. It's a very simple read, and she uses terminology that we can relate with. What is it? There's not a lot of jargon.
True, and it's just like everything is in different, like, small little chapters. It's a little bit of everything. So I like that.
Most definitely. And so with me, with money, I think that's where it started. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna budget. Yes, guys, piece of paper. Be like, okay. I still messed up. You know, you get credit here and there, and guys, they will approve you. They will approve you, but I had credit, and I remember in one of the clothing accounts, I was so shocked. I think that was the first account that I had, the first credit I had. They gave me, think about almost 10K.
That's crazy. When? Like 10 years?
This was like 10 years ago, 2014.
That's crazy.
2013 actually. So like they gave me credit for like 10K, and I went to the store and I got us blackberries.
What is this? So I stayed at least
she's playing my song.
She put us on. It might have not been the best financial decision, but shout out, she was a good sister.
And then I have to pay it back every month. And the other thing that I learned from Nicolette Mashile when it comes to paying back debt, she said it in simple terms. They say minimum payment. She's like, they're literally saying to you, at least, like that's the least you have to pay. And I always thought that's
how much you're supposed to pay.
And eventually, because I was in so much debt, like I had loans here, I had a credit card, I had overdraft. I didn't have that discipline. And so I would budget, but I budgeted on how to pay for the debts. But I was not informed enough to not get into the debt. You know, so once I was in, that's when I learned more about money. Don't do that, guys. You don't have to get in.
Be like me.
Be like her. I was like, she's not making the same mistakes I made. So eventually then I learned about like how to pay back debt, because when you have a lot of debt and you look at your income and you're like, you get overwhelmed, you know, and I feel that's when people don't even put in a plan or work on a plan to pay off it, because it's really overwhelming. It's like, what's the point? You know, but that's when I learned about like the snowball effect or the snowball method, which is I hope this is the one where you pay off. I paid off my the lowest debt. And yes, it wasn't the one, because it's that method and the other one where you pay off the debt with the highest interest. So that was like, that's a debt with the highest amount. So let me go with the debt with the lowest debt or value, and it made me feel so good. The moment you get that paid up letter, I was like, this is amazing, let's move, and then immediately throw that money into the next one. And obviously you've learned not to, hopefully you've learned not to create another debt, because then you're working backwards. So that's how it worked for me. So that's how I tackled my debt. And the moment I think I closed one of my credit cards, and I was like, man,
I did that.
Now I know. I did that, but now I know. I know. And the other thing is that your overdraft. I was like, it's money. It's money that's there. But it's not your money. And it's available. And if you don't have the discipline, because I think I had an overdraft of like 5K.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. I was like, I'm living my best life. When my salary comes in, that's exactly how much they take. They took all of that with me. Now it's back to square one, and it's just a whole vicious cycle. But would you consider getting any of that credit card?
No.
Good. I'm just testing.
I think for me, I started my whole like personal finance journey started in my final year, where I wasn't sure if I was going to go back to school because I didn't have the funds to go back, and luckily like I got a bursary to cover my fees. And then that's when I started learning about finances, making all my content about like investing.
Oh yeah, this is your niche.
Yeah, all of that. So I think with me, luckily, like I was lucky because, for example, I don't have to get into debt for school. I was lucky to get that, get that bursary, and then I think seeing the mistakes people made around me. So I went like starting to work. I went in with like, I'm trying my best not to, like, you know, I've seen how difficult this thing can be and trying my best not to get myself into that situation. Like, yeah, I think like my first or biggest debt was like my car, and it took me so long to finally decide to do that. So I think also yeah, you know, I think, you know, people can have different look at finances different, and sometimes like I feel like I have this like thing,
phobia or fear,
of like, because I know sometimes you can use these things as ways to make more money or whatever, but like I'm so scared of ending up like what I've seen around me that I'm like trying to keep everything in. You know, like, okay, I'm not gonna spend my money because you know, if it goes out, it's gone, then I'm gonna be in that situation. But I really try my best to like not do that, and I think I'm really disciplined because you know, if you want to get a car, you do need to build up your credit. And
how did you do that?
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. I don't like to say this out loud, but I did get a clothing account. I know lots of people are not disciplined enough to do that. Yeah, so for example, for me, I got a clothing account. It's something like I buy, then I pay, and that's what built my credit. And I'm disciplined enough to do that, say that's the purpose. Like, if I want to buy something, I can save up for it. I can, you know, I'm not using my clothing account for like spending the whole 10K that they're giving me.
Why are you judging me?
But yeah, so I think finances do require a lot of credit, especially like, you know, when you are now doing well in your, like, for example, I started working 3 years ago. I've progressed in my career. The salary has gone up.
I mean,
you know, the salary has gone up. I do side hustles. The money comes in on the side, different angles. And I think nice. And yeah, you know, it's good. We love that. But I think it does require a lot of discipline, because sometimes you sit down, you say, I work hard.
Yeah.
I deserve something.
Just budget for it. Just
that's what I've learned. I love budgeting so much, and I love to live life. So that's why I'm like, I will budget for the part of living life. I'm saying this is my money for vacation. I'm putting away so much money every month. I will make money like for that, put it away, and so that when I go there, I can go guilt-free, enjoy.
Guilt-free.
To know that this is the money that I actually put aside for this. So that's why I really like budgeting. I think I am super disciplined. I think I probably made, you know, some splurges here and there. I am human. I'm not saying I'm perfect. But I think if I do say so myself, I think I've done well.
No, you've done extremely well. So shout out. And give yourself that grace when you do mess up. You know, because as you said, you're not perfect, and just get back up. But you've done extremely well, and I know I'm like, yo, what's up with this forecast? Focus just like her.
Yeah, but you've also inspired me. I think for how you turn your situation around, and it's like if you have someone around you that you can see how things, like how they were affected, and they managed to turn things around for themselves. It's like, why do I need to make the same mistake? Like, exactly. Like, you made the mistake for both of us. Now let's get up. Like, I hate that quote, but like it makes sense now when they say like, when you get up once, stand up 2 times, something like
it makes no sense, but it makes sense
right now because
you fell. Like, the 2 people. I didn't get up 4 7 times. Get up 8 times. Okay.
So that's how I feel the situation is.
Sure. No, I get that. So when I eventually paid off my debt. It wasn't easy to spoil myself. As you said, it's that fear, it's that guilt. I still have that. Like, guys, when I want to make like, and even after I've budgeted for this, I'm like, I look at my heart rate on my watch.
It says, calm down. Like, stress levels are up.
You know, stress levels are up. Like, I remember I budgeted for my handbag. I've always wanted a Michael Kors handbag. And I was like, I'm gonna budget.
Flex man.
A whole year. A whole year I was saving. Now. And I think you sent it to me because it was on sale. I'm like,
when I live at home, I don't pay rent.
And then she sent it to me. I had the money. I had budgeted for it, but to let go of it was such so it was so hard. Probably need to go to therapy for this. Not retail therapy. But yeah, and then I bought myself that bag, and for some time I was like, it's not even worth it. It's not even my favorite bag. But I was just like, you know what, I deserve this. I worked hard to get here. I budgeted for it. I mean, it's something else if you are throwing away the main responsibilities or your main needs for that kind of handbag, then you're just being irresponsible. I'm sorry, I said it. So I've come a long way with having to allow myself to buy stuff. Sometimes I'm just like, whoa, you don't want to go back where you were. So it kind of helps. I've got a partner that is super strict, and that has also helped me, because I remember reading You're Not Broke, You're Pre-Rich. I think Mapala said, you must also ask, what's your credit score, Baba? We can stop asking about favorite colors and where we're going on vacation. What is your credit score? How's your budgeting?
It's already
Let's see your bank statement. Let's see your bank, because that's a thing. Because I feel that will actually like make or break you if you decide, or if you go into a serious relationship.
That's so real, because honestly, like, I worked so hard to make sure that my things are in order. So I'm not gonna let anybody ruin that.
I will stop you, please. I'll try my best. You know, so it helped, or it helps having a person that's strict. Sometimes, yes, he can be very strict and be like, oh my word. But then there's balance, you know, and you need that kind of thing. Like, okay, and someone that is honest with you, just like me, I'll be like, Tshegofatso, okay, listen, you say you don't want to buy a car, but let's talk about the pros and cons of having a car. I mean, now you just drove here. I would have had to fetch you by the counting station. I mean,
with my and I had a lot of bags today.
You understand? So that actually made sense. But just to have people around you, that
your network,
it is
your net worth.
Like, let's not even lie about that, guys. It makes no sense surrounding yourselves with people that are all about spending.
Like, I think that's so important. Like, I think even like people around me, when I see like, oh, you know, someone has like a new side hustle, or they're working or whatever, I'm like, oh, okay, let me see, how can I do that? So here, oh, this person paid off their car, this person did what, and I'm like, you know, actually, like, just makes you. Sometimes you're not even having those conversations with those people, but
just like everything that's happening around,
just like inspires you, gets you like, okay, let me think about my finances. Actually, where am I? How are my things looking? And
because when with a friend of mine, I think our friendship is like at its peak. We're doing so well. Shout out, friend.
Shout out.
So like, to a point where we're like, listen, this, like, for example, if we're running a race, we had to pay for that race. You understand? Maybe we're gonna get some cute outfits for the race as well. We budget for that, and then we're like, okay, our coffee dates or going out dates are limited this month, and we're like, okay, sharp. Because then if you have a friend, it's gonna be like, chumi, come on, girl.
And I think that's also because I saw this whole thing on Twitter about like social media friendships. I think finances are also important in friendships, because you know, some people want to go on holiday every 3 months, and you know, restaurant hopping, and I think it's good to be like comfortable with your friends, to be able to say, okay, no, this one I can't do now, or let's calm down a little bit, or you know, or even just everyone around you. I think we need to I know probably sometimes it's embarrassing or you feel somehow, but I think it's good to not even to your friend, like, just be honest with yourself, to say and actually this is something I can't do right now, you know, and just be okay with it and allow it. Like, for example, I feel like for me, like in high school, I missed out on a lot of things because of just how finances were at the time, and it's like, guys, things will be okay, you know, because now I'm like, you know, wow, look at me, and dig my nails,
getting your hands in,
you know, getting my hair done or whatever, you know. The time will come when you're able to do those things and be comfortable. If you can't do them at that moment, then don't let anyone pressure you. I think just always, when I talk about finances, I always say that it's so hard for example, if you're listening to this podcast and someone says, save, budget, do this. But I think you need to know why you're doing it. And once you know your why, that makes it easier. Because if you say, like, for example, if now I know maybe I'm saving up for a big purchase and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stop doing my nails for some reason, it's easier for me because I'm like, okay, end goal, I know what I'm doing this for. But if I'm just everyone's saying save your money, stop doing it, it's like, what? I don't know what you guys are talking about. So I think just knowing yourself, knowing the reason why this is important to you, makes it so much easier to say, hey, okay, my budget says I can't do this, so I'm not doing it. And it's okay to say, like, you know what, I'm not going to a restaurant today because my budget.
No, I agree. I agree. And I feel the main thing, as you said, be honest with yourself and be honest with the people around you. Like when someone wanted to go to Portugal and we had less than 6 months to save, and I said, "Girl, I can't do it." You know, I could have just said, "I'm not paying for this and I'm not paying for that."
Yeah.
But I was like, I can't do it. I've got these plans, and you're like, and it doesn't stop. Okay, it kind of did stop you from not going. Oh, you're going?
Who said I'm not going?
But it doesn't stop you from doing that, because I was like, listen, you can go.
Yeah.
Do you? I'm doing me like this for now.
And I think also another thing when it comes to finances is that sometimes you compare yourself to others. For example, she just said she's not going to Portugal, for example. She has other responsibilities. I mean, she's paying her house, she's paying whatever rates and whatever. Like,
Don't get me started
I live at home.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, I'm not paying water, rates, whatever.
You don't even know what it is.
You know, so I think that's another thing, that people have different responsibilities. People at different points in their lives, and they can spend their money on different things. So that's another thing also.
But now you mentioned that obviously we are at different levels in life at different times. And we're probably going to unpack this when it comes to friendships. But like, how do you navigate that? Like, you want to experience this. Like, you want to go to Portugal with me. So
my budget is not allowing for 2 experts.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
So I think for me, you know, it just depends on the situation and the time. Like, I love spending time with my friends. I love spending time with my parents, my cousins, my sister. I love being around people, basically. So, you know, I think if a person's in a situation where they can't do a certain thing, if I can, then I will help out. I also do like solo trips. I went to Mozambique alone. I went to Botswana alone. So I also do like solo trips and whatever. So I think it's like, it's a balance of like doing things alone, doing things with people, doing a mixture of things that are affordable, things that cost more money. So just a little bit of everything.
And that's a very good point, because I also saw, I don't know who it was. I think it was Mpumile Dwaba that mentioned this in one of her episodes, where she said that, you know, especially when you're on social media and there's an event or something's popular, and you're like, everyone is there. No, not everyone is there. It seems like everyone
That's
is
how
there.
I felt about the Nightwall Festival. Everyone is there.
I just stayed. I really wanted to be there.
I
didn't see anything. I was like, I am not. But like, everyone is there. And the other thing is that the people post the things that they did, right? People posted that they went to Nightwall Festival, like this past, it happened recently. But you don't know what they had to sacrifice to,
and the other events they didn't go to, and all that.
Exactly. So if you're not strong and you're like, I want to go to this festival, I want to go to this concert. I'm like, she's like, I'm there. So people just need to understand that not everyone is there. Some of us are just sitting at home having tea, and that is great. Okay. That is okay. That is normal, guys. Like, I'm not hating on the people that are living lavishly. It's fine, that do you, but I'm just saying it's normal not to always be
doing things. And
these
also stuff. Just circle back to the friendship thing, I saw like a tweet and someone says, because now I think friendships are like, we're going on a friendcation or we're going to a fancy dinner. Like, yes, we love that, we love doing those things, but the person said like, let's bring back, come over to my house and let's have tea type of friendships. Was like, because I think now, like, whenever we meet up with friends, it's something where you have to spend money.
And but it's like, it's a lot.
Yeah, so it's like, let's bring back those friendships. Like, you come to my house, we're drinking tea, we're chatting, 2 hours, you go home, and that's it. Maybe you guys do it, but I'm like, let's bring it back. I think so just like those, just genuine things, and things that are not just like for social media. So
no, most definitely, because like, you need to be honest with yourselves, and you set your own goals, guys. I know that what I liked about, I think was it me or you, when it came to the vision board, is that we don't do it like immediately first day. Do you do it first day of the year?
I want to start standing up business on the first day.
So I was like, I'm not going to do it like even the first month of the year, because that's when everyone is posting their vision boards, and now I'm getting influenced. Goti, I want this, I want it. And That's why I got off social media. And I'm like, okay, I'm off Instagram. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna actually step back and actually think about what I want and what my goals are, because then you think your goals are other people's goals.
True.
You know, now you want to drive this Beamer. Okay, I really want to drive. But then you want to drive this car, but then your priorities or your plans for the year do not align with that, and that's okay. You know. And another thing, I was having a chat with one of my friends, and years are different for people. This year is your year for working hard. You know, the next year it's when you're, you know, reaping what you sowed. So years are very different, and I think people need to be strong and be honest with themselves, even with in friendships. That if you're winning, there's like, please guys, let's clap for each other. You know, it's not good to you're behind or you need to keep up. That's when people start making these financial mistakes of keeping up with the Joneses and the Kumalos, and you know.
And that's why, like, I think that goes back to like knowing your why, and like, because especially when there's so many influences, then it's like, well, what is like your goal actually? Now, for example, you want to upgrade your car, you want to live in a certain area, but it's like, is that really what you want? And that leads you to making all these financial decisions. But maybe you're comfortable, like, I don't know, maybe having like a home is more important than a specific car. Then you just need to know what you like. I think Pumila Dwawa also said something like that about, was it her or someone else? I don't know, it was on a podcast that I was listening to. But this lady was just speaking about like, are your goals your goals? Because like when you see all these things on socials, then you try to aspire to all of that. But it's like, what do you actually like? And I think that should like help you, like that should direct you, like how should you be spending your money, and how should you be, you know, putting away your money, or what should you be doing with your money to actually get to where you want to.
True. Because with me, when I, just going back to like financial decisions, when I bought my car, the first car that I got, I was super excited, you know, and I went to the dealership, and then signing papers, guys. I wasn't reading things, and I wasn't asking questions, and I was not, you know, I was just super excited. All of a sudden, 30% residual.
That's crazy.
What does that mean? Less money to pay every month, you know?
And that's not what it means.
That's not what it means at all. And then I had this car, and the other thing is that I wasn't paying extra for my car. I'm not saying that's what you should guys, but now I would have if I had known. I was just paying up to the license, the last cent, when they said 0.76 cents. I'm like, I'm not giving them 80 cents. I'm giving them, you understand? And when I then changed my car, because it was so close, like I had owned the first car for less than 2 years, and then they're like, the shortfall, they threw it, and I was just like, I want myself a Ford Focus, a sunroof, and all of a sudden I'm like, what does this mean? And then I started learning up. Same with the second car, I also made the mistake of getting, for me it was a mistake, the residual amount, and I was like, what am I gonna do? And I was so overwhelmed, and I was so sad. I'm like, how can I make the same mistake twice? I was like, you know what, Tshegofatso is not going to make this mistake.
Sure. That's why it's important to have these conversations, because sometimes you just don't know these things, and we need people to talk about it. So here we are talking about it.
So eventually I was very fortunate, because then we got a lump sum of money that we had invested. Then it came out, and we paid off the car, which we thought was the best decision for us. Some other people would have said don't do this, but for us at that point we're like, okay, this makes sense. And we were so disciplined. Okay, after we paid off the car, the first installment were like and then after that, every month it's just like, it's almost as if we're still paying for a car, like with no fare. So
I'm working on it, still working on it.
So it's because some other person could have started another date or gone for another car, but now I'm really scared of getting an installment for a car, because it's something I'm like, for almost 3 years I've
get a side hustle, girl. How do you feel about that?
Side hustles, sure. I don't know why I'm not influenced by you already. This, I get the need for side hustles or for multiple streams of income. But I'm tired.
It's also multiple streams of work.
Exactly, and stress, and this and this and this. So, for Mena, I would like to do it. I'm working on it. But I'm sort of trying to stay content with what I'm getting, and that is very dangerous.
Good.
It's dangerous because COVID happened and we were like, what if this doesn't continue? Understand? So it is a very dangerous space to be in, to have that kind of only one income stream. But yeah, as you said, it is hard work. It's not for the faint-hearted. But what I've learned is that when I was doing research about income streams, is that you don't have to get a side hustle that pays you as much as your job. You can just get a side hustle that does your hair.
Yeah.
And that's out of the budget of your main.
Yeah, because I think that's how it is for me. Like, even now, I do a lot of things. It's a lot of work. It's tiring. Yeah. But I think that's how I get to, because I'm in like my travel era. So now I'm saying, okay, I have my side hustle. This is what's covering my travel. Yes. So the amount of money determines where I can go, what I can do. Then I have my full-time job. I'm like, okay, this is, since I don't have a lot of responsibilities at the moment, I can put a lot of that away. And then other things like, I just have a lot of side hustles, got a lot of plans. But yeah, some of them also, like, I think it's also an investment, because it's not actually making me that much money right now. Sure. But it's like, I'm like, I see the vision. It's gonna get there, you know? Yeah. So I think that's also something to remember, that sometimes you're putting in all the hours now. Yeah. Then you look at your bank account and it's like, the money's not coming in.
It's going out. It's going out.
It's like, I think, very cliche, but it's also good to do something that you enjoy. Because it's late nights, early mornings, weekends, public holidays of doing these side hustles after your full-time job. So it's also good to have something that you say, like, you know what, even if I don't get paid, but we're allowed to get paid, but like, even if I didn't get paid, I would still enjoy it. But like, yeah, it is a lot of work, but I like it.
Yeah, no.
Honestly, I like to be busy. Whether it's work, whether it's being outside doing stuff, I just like to be busy. It's something I enjoy, so...
No, so it works, and it's working for you. Because honestly, like, I'll be like, with one of your side hustles, I'm like, girl, when is the money coming in? And you're just like, yeah, then I'm gonna give it time, or I'm enjoying it. So it's a hobby. If it gives me money, it gives me money. Yeah. We've tried. Whew. Yeah. Remember when we used to work at the market?
Yeah. Used to work, guys, and I'm a chips.
I'm a chips, I'm a Russian, I'm a socks. Yeah. But yeah, we tried that, and it was hard work, and maybe we quit too quickly, or I quit too quickly, because I was like, enough is enough. I am out of here. Because working with people is not easy. Now working with people that are hungry, the worst. You know, for me.
And food also.
And food, I mean, it's very sensitive. It needs these protocols and policies, not policies, but all these other things. And that's the one side hustle where I was like, okay, but we've learned. If we decide to go back, we'll do that. And then there's some that I have in mind. I have, obviously, like a lot of people have a lot of ideas about here, but have not done them.
Yeah, and I would say, guys, if you want to try something, just try it.
Sure.
Like, you'll never know. If it's like, I feel like you learn so much by doing. So just start.
And I feel that the other thing is that, as you said, just start. You will learn and get the other stuff as you go. Yeah. Because when you started, these mics were not here. So
mics, lighting, black, everything. Nothing was here. I literally started with my phone. I remember there was a time where my laptop, the laptop I had, like, it couldn't handle editing on it. So I'd film on my phone, edit on my phone, and upload. And my content side hustle, YouTube, has literally changed my life forever. I'm like, tears are coming out of my eyes. But guys, if that's not motivation, like, just go out there, do it. If there's anything you want to do, like, I think having side hustles has literally, like, changed my life completely. I've made some good money. It's not always the same, it's up and down. I think it's okay for me because it's my side hustle. I do have a full time, like, income that I can depend on, but like, my side hustle has done this, like, months where it matches my full-time my full-time hustle, and
that's a lot of money.
He's coming in, girl. You know, so I think with any side hustle, just don't just go for something that everyone's doing. Just do your research and find something that kind of aligns with you, because there are going to be hard days. I think probably, as I said, like, I'm saying now, my side hustle income matching my full time. I think I did YouTube for like 5 years. for nothing.
And you didn't stop.
Yeah.
What is this girl doing?
Hi guys, welcome back. I was going. So
because you actually enjoyed it.
Yeah. So I think that's what's been really important to me. But yeah, I think also once again being disciplined, because now if you're saying like, oh, okay, I'm making the same from my full-time for my side hustle, let me quit my full-time job, you know. So I think because for me also I enjoy my full-time job, and it's also it's the content I make as well. Yeah. So it goes hand in hand. Yeah. So yeah.
No, but okay, we're deviating a bit. Yeah. But I just want to go back now to saving. What are your thoughts on saving? We'll get to investing because that is your niche. But saving, how do you budget for saving? What are you saving for, if you don't mind asking? Okay. And like, let's talk about saving.
Yeah, I love to save. And as I said, like I live at home. I don't have a lot of responsibilities. So, I mean, one thing I should be doing right now is saving. So, like I said before, knowing your why is so important. So when I save, I like to have like, what am I saving for? Like, I don't want to just say every month I'm putting this money away. And then I'm like, why am I putting it away? Because then if I don't know, next month I'll be like, look at those sneakers. I want them.
You were at that era when you're like, sneakers.
Yeah, I was still that era, girl. But like, for example, I'm saving for different things, like saving for traveling, saving for moving out. I am saving for, like, I have a whole spreadsheet. I love budgeting and saving. I do have a general like savings, and then I also have putting away for my emergency fund.
I was gonna ask you about that as well.
Yeah. So I'm trying to visualize my spreadsheet right now, but like there's different categories, and then whenever I get money, I've decided like certain percentages, and that money goes towards all those things.
And how much of your income goes into your savings? We're not telling people how much it's supposed to where now.
For me, from my full-time income, it's over 50%, and I think I'm super lucky and grateful to be able to do that. Yeah. But it's like, I think it's, you know, I'm at home, I'm like, this is why I'm still here, you know, because when I leave, it's gonna be like rent, water, groceries, everything. So I'm like, you know what, I'm still here. I'm putting away as much as I can, and that's the decision I made right now. So yeah, I think a lot can be put away. Other things is like I'm putting it away to spend it. For example, like traveling. That's something that's important to me right now, and that I'm enjoying. So some of that money is going. I'm saving it, but it's like at some point this year I'm gonna take that money because it's finally gonna be ready to be used for the intended. You know. So yeah.
No, I hear you. I feel the same. I think I'm saving about approximately 30 to 35% per month. It fluctuates, obviously, depending on other things, and that's the other thing.
Yeah, and I just want to say, like, I don't want anyone to feel like discouraged, to be like, now it's like such high numbers.
We did not start there.
Yeah, and we did not start there, and I think, you know, we are, what is it, like outliers, or we're very lucky to be able, especially in this economy, in this country where, you know, so I think don't be discouraged. I think what's important is starting with what you have and learning to build up that habit.
Yeah, that's the other thing, because for us, for men, let me just speak for myself, to get to a point where I can be disciplined with saving this percentage or this amount of money, is because even with my stipend that I used to get from my learnership, I'd be like, after paying back the loans, but I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna save this much, because there are people that are in debt, you know, or have a lot of responsibilities, and you're telling me to save, ganjad, you know. But as Tshegofatso said, it's literally just about getting into the habit, because if you do not know how to, I feel if you don't know how to save when you're getting 5,000, or maybe it's too much, or 3,000 or 1,000. How are you gonna know how to save when you get 50k? You know. So I personally, for me, as you said, it's just literally, it sounds so stupid, like even 10 rands, like do a challenge for the year, you know, be like,
that's what really helps me. Also, I love to do a savings challenge. And because they just say, okay, every month it's this much, whatever. So.
Because I also know that people also save through stokvels. That worked a lot for me. That's how I also got my bag, you know, when I got that lump sum, because that was a nice thing, because if you're not disciplined with the money that you put into your bank account, if you're in a stokvel with people that you trust, then you only get it when it's your turn.
Yeah.
You understand? And I bought a bag, I bought a fridge for the house. I'll be like, yes. And when you get it, you're like, oh, people are giving you money. No,
so like, our parents were onto something with that. They kind of cooked it.
Exactly. So it's the little that you put away, and it's literally just about building that habit. And it's great when you eventually use the money if you were saving it for something to buy. You understand? You're like, actually, I've earned this, I've worked hard for this. But back to the percentage that I save. And I used to be so hard on myself because I thought it had to be the same amount of percentage per month. But things happen, maybe this month I'm planning on like March is a crazy month when it comes to birthdays with my people. So I know that, okay, I'm going to be spending a lot, or I've been saving up a lot for these people, so I'm going to spend this month and I'm not going to save as much. But then the months before, the months to come, I actually have to save or have saved up to spend in that much or to splurge. So I used to struggle with that because I would get the money and then I'd be like, okay, 30%, 35% is going towards savings. And then I'll take it out.
Yeah, it's not realistic. I think another thing about like personal finance.
Yes,
it's literally personal finance. Because sometimes, like when I like watch the videos, listen to the podcast, whatever, I'm like, I just want answers. But it's like you also need to look at yourself, your life, your finances, and see what works for you and how you can make it work for you.
What I learned from you in terms of personal finance, where you're like, when we'd have a chat, because we're always talking about money.
Just chat.
When you feel like, I actually got this amount from my side hustles, which has like increased my net worth for this month.
Guys, I love this app called 20’s, guys. It shows me my net worth and I'm like,
but I want to spend the month.
I just want to see it go out and out, and I'm like, okay.
I also enjoy that. Sometimes it does, like, because sometimes I'm like, now I have to separate my transactions. Maybe it's me, but showing you your dates and your net worth, you're like, actually, it's coming together. But like when you and I talking, you're like, okay, this month I actually made more than the previous months, so I'm going to adjust my spending or my savings. And I was like, oh, you can do that. And it has taught me so much. When I know that maybe I'm going on holiday, I know that month I'm probably going to spend more on hair and my nails, and that's fine, because then I'm not too guilty with spending my money. But investing, I'm gonna give you the mic and the stage. Take both mics even. Let's talk about investing. What is that all about? What's the difference between saving and investing?
So saving, I'd like to think of saving as like putting away money for like a specific thing, like and then investing would be wanting your money to grow.
Okay.
So it can be, they're very close but different. But I think
same but different.
But my investing journey started in 2020. I didn't know what I was doing, and I thought I was gonna be like get rich overnight. And I don't regret starting like that, because that's how I actually got to realize, like, actually, what is this about? Let me sit down and actually learn about it. And that's how I got to learn about it. I think when I started, I was a very like high risk investor, like wanting, because the higher the risk, the more returns, but the more chances of
it's
losing.
A risk.
It's a risk. But now I'm at a point where I'm like, I don't want to take too much risk. I'm happy.
Growing at 25.
I started to low and said, hey, calm down. So right now, what I'm focusing on is just growing my tax-free savings account.
Okay.
So that's where you can invest without having to pay taxes, as long as if you stay into the within the amount, which is 36,000
per annum.
Per financial year.
Financial year?
Yeah.
Really? I thought it was per year.
No, it's per financial year.
Okay.
So so that's what I'm focusing on now, just making sure I max out my tax-free savings account. I'm like, tax-free?
I mean,
they make the most of that.
They're actually encouraging us to save.
And then also the RSA retail savings bond.
What?
RSA.
Okay.
Retail savings bond. That's where like you borrow the government money. You can check out the website. I'll also leave it in the description. And then there's a fixed, like the one I went for is for the fixed like rate, which is like I think at the time was about, please do check the website for the latest info, but I think it was about like 11% or something guaranteed. So it was fixed for like 5 years. So just put money away there for 5 years, and I'm gonna get it.
How long has it been?
I think it's year 2 now.
I still need to do it.
Yeah, so I think like now I'm just trying to see. I am looking for like, I think 2020, 2021, 2022, I was in like my hustle era, like, you know, finding new side hustles, investing in everything, figuring things out. 2023, I kind of like calmed down a bit and like, whoa, you know, I think because of like 3 years of just like hustling, job, whatever, everything. So last year I didn't do anything new. I just like took a break, and I think this year that's when I want to start again and see like, okay, what actually do I want to invest in, what new side hustles can I explore, and so on. So I'm also still figuring it out.
I hear you. It's still personal finance.
Yeah,
but then like when it comes to like crypto and trading,
yeah,
like, do you know much about that? Because I don't know much about crypto and trading, and sometimes I feel bad because I'm like, yo, the day people Bitcoin does this, I'm going to be left behind, you know.
Trading, I don't know much about that. I do have some crypto. I don't think we should go too much into that in this episode. I think we can have
like a dedicated episode. It's
like,
a lot.
Yeah, it's like our personal finance.
Okay, no, because I was just wondering, because I mean, like, we are told that we have our expenses, we need to save, and we need to invest.
Yeah.
And then I was just wondering where you're throwing your money when it comes to investments. I'm not throwing much. I really need to look at that. Because I ask you, I'm like, girl.
And I tell you, like, I always, when I'm on YouTube, I'm like, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm like, when I come to like,
do this.
She right now, go buy a 1, 2, 3.
She does. Yeah. So if I'm broke. But yeah, so with the I've got a retail savings part as well. I've got I'm also all about tax-free savings account, because the moment I got it, I was like, how?
Yeah,
why not? You know. And I've never maxed it out.
Okay.
That's the other thing. I looked at my personal finance, and I'm like, there's not, because I'm spreading my savings and my investments. I was like, okay, at the moment I don't want to throw in 36k into this. I'm gonna do this and this and this, because I'm playing around. I mean, with Fed Group, which is also a platform to like invest and all of that. Guys, I'm just learning. So
if you want to find out all about these apps, guys, I've probably already done a review on my channel. There's a playlist called Money Matters on my personal YouTube channel, and you can check out.
And you never know what you might actually learn. You don't have to grasp all the information from the episode. It's just that one thing, and then it already improves your life or the way you think.
True.
But yeah, so with me, when it comes to that, but I think I save more than I invest, and it scares me because like my money might not be growing as fast as
because inflation
exactly. But I do a lot of savings challenges. I have my goal saves there, and I love looking at my goal save. I'm like, okay, and I want to withdraw. They're like, no, wait 10 days. And I'm like, okay, all right.
That's what time bank, right?
Yeah, that's what time bank. But hey, do you guys?
That's what we're used to. That's what's working for us. Not financial advice once again.
Yeah, we also have friends that we are saving with. It's also a challenge, and it's also back again to the people that you surround yourselves with. Because when we started with the savings, we would share our proof of payment into the account, you know, or the balance every month end. And then we stopped. I was like, I wonder if they're still doing it. But we're gonna still continue. And then when we have chats, we're like, guys, we're still continuing. We still don't know where, or we're using it as opportunity savings, because again, an emergency savings account is not just for bad things. It's also for opportunities. When an opportunity comes, you're like, actually, I've got this amount of money that I can throw.
But that's like two separate things.
I don't know. I feel like it's emergency account, rainy days, summer days. That's how I think of it. But that's just my opinion. So it also matters. Just going back to the point that it matters who you are with.
Net worth is your net worth.
If
just like
but back to emergency savings. Like it took me so long to start an emergency savings because 6 months worth of, and I was like, how am I even gonna get there? Until I read or I listened to Nicolette, and she said first of all, do you do what works for you. And when I grasped the fact that it's not 6 months worth of income, it's 6 months worth of expenses. I was like, I need to stop spending, and I'm like, okay. Then I had to look at my expenses. I'm like, okay, can I actually survive? Yeah, so I was like, okay, that's when I started, and I put in there, I look at my spending ratio, and then I'll be like, oh, now I'm calculating stuff. You have to do the work. You have to sit down, look at the numbers, crunch the numbers, be honest with yourself, guys. Don't be like when you're applying for a loan and you're like, do not do that thing. Be honest with yourself, look at the numbers, and do not exaggerate other stuff, which actually don't spend that much. You do. Look at your bank statement and be
I think that's also another thing that I've been wanting to focus on this year, is kind of like tracking my expenses and actually seeing like how am I actually spending my money, because sometimes you're like, oh, I'm super responsible, I'm doing everything, but it's like, wait, let's look at the receipts. How are you actually doing that?
That's another thing I also need to look at, like grab a highlighter and just highlight all of that if you're gonna print out your bank statements. But with the emergency fund, I think just also when you get to a point where you can actually start saving towards that, the little money you have, just throw it in there. I think just so that you also get into the habit of building that fund. But do not get discouraged. You have to start somewhere.
Start where you are with what you have.
It sounds like we're just saying it because and we don't want to be here. We want to go further with our finances. So we're still learning, still making mistakes. But this is our journey right now, and this is where we're at right now.
Shout out to us, we're trying.
We're trying. We're really trying. But so we hope you guys enjoy the episode and share with us some tips and tricks on how you guys do your money matters. But until the next one. See you guys.
Bye.